there's this beautiful, ubiquitous image that people have all around the world for prayer that I think is quite insightful if we really think about it. Now, if you asked a child to draw someone praying, what would be the image that would come to mind for them? I bet it would be someone down on their knees, their eyes are closed, and their hands are folded. Now, we don't need to be in this physical position when we pray, because prayer is a wholly mental activity. It's not a physical one at all. So it doesn't really matter if we're down on our knees or we're running a marathon or driving a car. The physical formation of one's physical body doesn't matter in prayer because again it's about consciousness, isn't it? It's about where are we consciously, mentally. Now, everything that symbol connotes, however, does point at the kind of consciousness that we're after, the kind of awakeness to mental truth that we're after. Now, what does it represent to be down on one's knees? I would say that's about humility. Back in the olden days when you went before a king and genuflected, went down on one knee, it would be about honoring the king as the one who has power over you, authority over you, really has governance in his hands. And to put both of our knees down in prayer, that symbolizes to me the concept that there really is something bigger than ourselves that is really making and sustaining us, namely life itself or God. There is something that we're all in and of that's creating this experience and governing it. And it's not us as a personal psyche or mortal. Now, what about closing one's eyes? What do you think that could represent? For me, it's about blocking out our physical or material sense of life. Because often that's what we take in to make a reasonable guess about what is true about life. But often the physical senses not only purport to us something that's bad, something that's wrong, literally wrong, but they often purport the exact opposite of what's true. And Jesus said we should go into a closet to pray. And I think what he was after there is a quiet space free from mental distraction and from the images of the material senses, material eyes, which often deceive us. And we're going to talk in this lecture very deeply about that, how we can get in tune with God and what's true through a spiritual sense of life instead of a physical or material one. And lastly, when we put our hands together in prayer, what does this symbolize? For me, it's about oneness, unity, and often a desire or pleading to understand it more. Often in life, there seems to be dualism, separation. Maybe a God way out here, but little us down here. Maybe good over here, but of course there's the flip side, bad over here. There's dark and there's light. There's this kind of dualistic nature to things. In prayer, there's not only a coming together, a dissolution, an end to division, divisiveness, two-ness, separation, but there's a recognition of the unity of being, the oneness of being. When I think of God as life, I think of me and you as essential manifestations of life. Really the expression of life. Like if you had the sun and a ray of light, that ray of light would be the expression of the sun, but they're at one with each other. You can't have a sun without a sunbeam or ray. Just like I don't think you could have life or God without us, the manifestation of life. So when I think of God, we're as crucial to God as God is crucial to us. Every cause needs an effect. There's no cause without an effect. There's no effect without a cause. So we need our cause, God, to exist, but God needs an expression. God needs us as well. You know, love, for example, love needs a manifestation. It's not just a theory. For love to be real, it needs to be experienced, felt, seen. There needs to be that movement of love. And for truth to be real, you need to see an example of it. If there's no example of truth, then something is not true. So when I think of God, I think of something that's intimately connected with us and reveals what our meaning, our purpose is in existing. Now, that prayer symbol, that deep sense of humility, that there is something bigger than us that's creating and sustaining life, blocking out the senses, and understanding more about our unity with God, this kind of prayer really is an ever-present help in times of need. And I want to just start this lecture with an experience when there was dis-ease in a very extreme sense, and I appealed to God in prayer and saw a wonderful healing, a wonderful resolution through this prayer process. And in fact, I would call it true well-being is what I saw that day.